Hey everyone, welcome to Industry Headlines. He's Kevin Kaufman, I'm Fred Weaver, and this is our look at what's happened in the real estate space in the last week. So Kevin, we're going to talk about a real estate company out there that's still going to hold their real estate conference during COVID. Wow, okay.
I can't even believe this story, by the way. Like it's shocking. It is shocking to me that this is happening.
Also, a little shocking to me was Realogy and Amazon ended their partnership and sort of faulted COVID. We'll talk about that in a minute. And we're going to talk about money because there was some real estate companies last week that came out with some earnings information that I think we were going to want to go through and you're going to want to hear.
Yeah, so let's hop in, man. So let's talk about the conference. I can't believe this is happening amongst like going on during global pandemic. Some states aren't even open yet, and a real estate company has the audacity to hold their annual event.
Yeah, well, they're doing it on Donkey Kong technology, but eXp Realty is holding their eXp Shareholder Summit here this week, actually, May 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. If you're interested in participating, even if you're not an eXp agent, you're welcome to check that out. Reach out to us. No pressure, but it is pretty cool. It's a big event. It's spread across 4 days because they know, Kevin, that you're not going to sit there for 8 hours in front of your computer. So it's a couple hours a day, a couple different tracks you can choose from. I just think it's really cool. And also give credit to eXp in the fact that in the last couple of weeks, they had a real estate, not a real estate, they had a business conference held on their platform, Virbela, with thousands and thousands. I believe if I read it correctly, it was as many as 10,000 people attended this conference.
Whoa.
So, I mean, say what you want. This is not just real estate conferences holding their events. This is other business conferences now turning to Virbela's platform, as well as other virtual platforms to hold their events. And I mean, if the NBA could play a game on Virbela, I think they would right about now. Let's be honest.
They're dying to. I'm surprised. I'm actually kind of surprised the NFL didn't host their draft inside of Virbela, but there's always preseason OTA workouts, stuff like that. So yeah, pretty cool. I'm excited for it. We're going to get to attend our conference, even though it was, postponed, if you will, in the month of April. And here we are in May, and we're actually going to get to proceed as usual, just on a virtual platform. So excited for that for sure, to be able to attend this annual event.
Yeah. So many months ago, there was a pretty big splash that came out, featured it here on Industry Headlines. Amazon and Realogy put a partnership together. And essentially the partnership was you could go to Amazon's real estate website, so to speak, and be connected with a Realogy agent. And by initiating your home search or your home sale through their website, you would get in upwards of thousands of dollars worth of Amazon product for your home. But that partnership is coming to an end, or at least it's got a big time out on it.
Yeah, it was like if I remember correctly, it was like a $1,500 minimum like reward, like Amazon gift card, effectively for your home if you use one of their agents in this new referral program. Well, and I want to say that was actually released last summer, because I feel like we were at the Inman conference in late July last summer when that news broke. And so yeah, here we are, not quite a year later. It never really got off the ground, and they've officially put an end, or at least a hold on their partnership. So pretty interesting. I think a lot of people thought this was Amazon's kind of them dipping their toes, if you will, into the real estate pool. And it's not to say that they won't still, because I think a lot of people still expect that. But here we are, like no results from it, and they're not moving forward, at least for the time being.
Yeah, I thought what was interesting is one of the statements that was made by an Amazon or Realogy person that was sort of interviewed for some of the articles I read, was that at this time, like, people don't want, contact with other people. So part of this process was, it was money, as you mentioned, but it was actually money for like home automation and Alexa based systems and security and, all that tech stuff, right, that you can put in your home. But I don't know about you, man, but like I got people like doing house projects like in my neighborhood. I got people putting new roofs on. I got people putting back, stuff in their backyard. I've seen service vehicles going inside people's houses. I feel like because people are home right now, they're actually having like more of those vendors and servicers over. So again, I'm not knocking Realogy. They're successful no matter what. I'm not knocking Amazon. They're successful no matter what. But it was just weird to me that they ended the partnership over the apparent, like, people don't want other people in their homes.
Yeah, like I definitely don't think that that was that's what they decided to put in their press release as the reason. There's no way that's the same way. Like walking around my neighborhood over the last couple months, if anything, like work being done at homes, from contractors and whatnot has been up because people are there more. They're having stuff going on in their house.
Yeah.
So I totally agree. That was definitely just the news or the spin that they wanted to put on it. So
Yeah,
who
my
knows?
opinion only. You're entitled to your own opinion. I'm just giving
Yeah,
you a little my opinion here on industry headlines. So,
yeah,
Kevin, without opinion here, there's some numbers. Let's just talk about the
yeah.
numbers. We can
Big
give our
numbers
opinions
too.
about them, but Zillow had a benchmark quarter of 1.1 billion in revenue. It's more than double what they posted in 2019's first quarter, right? Despite posting a loss though in 2019 of 163 million. So I believe, no, excuse me, sorry, $163 million loss on 1.1 billion in revenue. There's your numbers.
Yeah. So the couple things here. Number one, it's a big number, right? $1 billion in revenue. That's a big number. I don't care who you are. I think though, when we dive deeper into like the Zillow numbers, that revenue, so they buy a house, say for 200,000. That's an expense of $200,000 to them, plus whatever they spend to fix it up. Let's say they sell it for 225,000. Like we gotta understand that's them booking 225,000 when they sell that house as income, which it is. It's income. I get it. But it's, let's also, no wonder it's doubled. They weren't selling this many houses a year ago in 2019 or ever before. So they're still selling ad space and they're generating revenue that way and through their referral program, but they're also selling homes now. So those are they're getting much bigger checks. So again, not knocking it. That's the business model. We've talked about the iBuyer model time and time again, but yeah, that's a big number no matter how you slice it.
Redfin, pretty similarly, 191 million in revenue, a 73% spike year over year with a net loss of 60 million in the first quarter of 2020. I think that's the same thing though. Redfin has their iBuyer program as
Yep.
well, right? So they're booking all that revenue or their expense when they buy it, they're booking it as revenue when they sell it. So interesting there, probably not that different. And then Realogy, pretty interesting. So Realogy came out and reported a net loss of 462 million in the first quarter. They're saying it's due in part to a $447 million impairment charge related to declines in the overall market because of the pandemic. That's interesting to me because the pandemic didn't really show up until the third month, the final month of the first quarter. I don't know what to say. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that. Just interesting to me.
No, I mean, that's a really big loss. I agree. I think we're going to see, and I think the next number we're going to talk about is probably EXP's numbers, because they reported as well. What we're going to see is like the biggest impact from this pandemic is going to be the second quarter, not the first quarter, right? Because it was, the end of March, all of April. Here we are, the first part of May, and again, still not totally open everywhere. So totally surprised by that. Again, these are the reasons, if you will, that they're giving their investors and they're putting on their calls, in that they know we're going to make headlines and things like that. So do I think that's the real reason? No, there's something more going on there. But do we know what it is? No, we don't know that either. We just know they lost a lot of money, a lot more than they did last year in the first quarter.
Yeah, and here's the full numbers, and we'll move on to EXP, the other big publicly traded real estate company. But Realogy reported 1.1 billion in revenue, so basically equal to Zillow, right? With a 462 million dollar loss, right, in the first quarter of 2020. But that's an increase over their only 99 million dollar net loss that they posted in the first quarter of 2019. So opinions aside, those are just the numbers for you there.
Yeah, and then EXP, which I want to say we actually reported on this initially last week. They posted a profitable number, right? So big increases not only in income but in basically every other category that matters. Big increases, but not just in net income, or excuse me, not just in gross income, but in net profit, right? So they ended up first quarter, despite the global pandemic, being net profitable across the company, which is a big deal for a company that is public and this young.
Yeah, 271 million in revenues, so nowhere near the Zillow and Realogy revenues, right? They're not the size there or the time on task, if you will. And profits, not losses of 200,000. So, I mean, that's nothing to throw probably a huge celebration for, except the fact that every other real estate company lost money. So put that in perspective, it's actually pretty good. I mean, granted, you'd like to see more profit there over time, but 2 quarters in a row of profits, positive numbers, while other companies are posting negative.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're making a profit when your peers are losing, that is good no matter what. Or as my favorite football coach of all time, John Gruden says, you can't go broke making a profit. So so that's that's a big number no matter how you slice it. And I think obviously you mentioned too just the time on task. So we'll see those numbers continue to grow, hopefully, as shareholders, proud shareholders of EXP Realty.
Thanks for joining us for Industry Headlines. We'll see you back here next week. Create yourself a great one.
Bye.